Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review. In this video, I'm going to compare two different TVs, kind of like apple to oranges, but I'm going to tell you the reasons. Whether you should be thinking to upgrade your TV if you got an old TV. This is a 7-year-old LG with an IPS panel, 4K. This is a 2024 brand new TCL P755 with a VA panel. The model of the LG is kind of like long. I have to read 43UG651V. And this is, like I said, TCL P755, not the most expensive TCL. So I'm going to hit play. One of them has Android or Google TV inside. The other one has WebOS as the LG does. So I'm going to hit them in the same time. Of course, the newer one is running faster, but since we don't have an account, yes, as you can see, commercials are happening. I'm going to hit back again for both of them, and I'm going to hit back. So no CGI in my videos, you all know. But by the way, okay, commercials are begin, no problem. So when I hit back and come back, the main issue was blacks are more darker on the TCL. That's obvious. I'm going to talk about the specs, everything quite fast. But before diving deep into the things, and I'm going to stop the video of Bangkok here. So the reason is I'm going to upgrade this TV to TCL, and most interesting part I'm going to tell you and show you in a bit. But when you connect the Xbox Series X, even though this is a 7-year-old TV, you are going to be able to see 120 Hz. That's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. And I don't think that you are expecting such a stuff from an old TV, but I'm going to come into that. Xbox is at the back. I'm going to show you the side angles. So this is an IPS. You might be expecting something, but a lot has changed around 7 years. So I'm going to hit play again. So we're going to talk about both of the TVs are running from the vivid mode, but basically this one is quite brighter and the dynamic range is extremely different than the LG. 7-year changed a lot of stuff. I'm going to close the second light. I don't want any room light to affect. You're going to see me a little bit of darker, pale, no problem. Just see the TVs as they are. Both of them are running in the vivid mode, like I said. The LG has the TCL P755 has 350 candela square meters, but in the brightest mode, LG says normally LG is, let me just check, 300. But in the peak brightness, it says 400. But after 7 years of harshly use and a lot of hits from my kid, I'm going to, in the upcoming videos, change the LEDs at the back, and I will try to see if I could change anything. So stay tuned for that. But we have light loss along the way. But even that doesn't, it's not going to be able to cover up the contrast difference. TCL P755 on the declaration has 6,000 to 1 and LG is 1,400 to 1. So the contrast difference is huge and blacks are much deeper with the TCL. You might be saying yourself like the side angles potentially could be bad, but no. I think panels have improved a lot along the way, and you might be missing that out. Like potentially a lot of people will be thinking like, I have still IPS panel, I get good image. Also, LG is HDR, one of the best of its time, not the most expensive TV of its time, but probably closer to the high-end side of things of its time. So 7 years, or it's coming to the probably end of 2014 right now. So it's coming to the 8 years of its time. In this video, we're going to talk about whether you should be thinking to upgrade or how you can solve some of the issues. So this is going to be turned out from a little bit of side-by-side into another tutorial, kind of like a guide video. You know, I'd like to share info. Both of them has HDR10, but of course, TCL has HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision because it's new. And both of them says in the declaration 178-degree angle, and I agree. Both of them are showing quite a bit of angle without any problem. Both of them has 20 watts of speakers, so no extreme change there. And both of them has same WESA port. And of course, on the sound side of things, 20 watts of each, like two 10 watts of speakers, stereo speakers, both of them. Both of them has down firing. LG is doing also the same. But TCL has Dolby Digital Plus, DTS Virtual X, so Dolby Atmos. But LG has only DTS decoder or DTS HD. And that's normal, like for 7 years of difference, we should expect that. So I'm going to open up the front lights again to be seen in the screen a little better, since we don't have too much of a reflection. One more thing is from the future side. LG's spec list is like 3, 6, and 7 figures, but we got like probably, I can't even count, more than, I guess, around 20. So AI clarity, AI contrast, AI color, AI HDR, AI motion, Alexa, Apple TV, blue light filter, Chromecast built-in Disney Plus, game accelerator, it says on the declaration, but 43-inch doesn't have game accelerator. So you should be going above 55 or 65. You got to double check that. TCL P755 doesn't give the game accelerator for every size. So probably even the 50 doesn't have it. Just check before you buy. Make sure, contact with the probably sale people. Just make sure you got the DLG and you're going to be able to see 120 Hz. Even with the lower resolution, if you're a gamer, that might be important for you. It has game picture mode. This doesn't have, like, it has a game picture mode, but not dedicated like TCL. Other than that, lower input like it says, and sound support, interestingly, audio file formats are more with the LG, but we got to check that because we got built-in Android and Google TV, so we can install VLC player, any kind of like codec, we can solve a lot of the problems. And since this is WebOS and 7-year-old, I guess we haven't been updating the TV for the last 3 years at least, so you're not going to get amount of updates like a Google TV. Basically, if you're onto sort of thing, you got to go upgrade your TV. So I think I've covered a lot in this scenarios. I'm going to go back and change the video, just change the video for both of them and try to figure out. I'm going back to the channel, just going back to the defaults of YouTube. Okay, this scene looks a little bit of brighten for the darker areas. This is about the Android choice of WebOS choice. So it's not just about the darkness, because we're going to take OLED test. Let's go for the same video. Let's find that. Okay, I'm going to hit play. If no commercial happens, even this scene is darker with the TCL. That's obvious. The contrast is there. So if you think you got an IPS and the newer panel is VA, you're wrong about it. If you got probably over 5 years old TV, new TVs are better, even the less expensive ones. But don't get me wrong with this explanation or showing you side by side. This is apple to oranges, and I haven't changed the LEDs yet. Probably LG will perform much better. This is a 7-year-old, highly abused, daily used, lot used TV. And around the side, we got blue leaks, and that's the end of the LED's life cycle. That's showing that. But I'm just trying to show you the picture quality, sharpness, and also details. I think still LG is doing a lot, and you don't have to change your TV if you got a better LED performance, if you haven't used your TV like we do. Because we have been using this as a main TV for the last at least 2 years, and before that we were using just casually. So I'm going to change the LEDs, and probably I will improve the performance a lot, but I'm not sure. I'm going to solve the blue LED problems around the side light leaks, but I'm not sure I can create dynamic range, because the dynamic range difference that you can't make it up, and the processing power has improved over the years. So it is worth a while to consider. But if you're not going to convert your TV from a regular TV to a gaming TV, because this is not a dedicated gaming TV, without the DLG, without the 120 Hz, and this will create 120, I'm going to open it up, don't worry, in a second. You're not going to get a gaming TV. So it's up to you, it's a choice. Like, probably you can buy a decent Google dongle, like a brand new one with a good acceleration, or you can connect your console to it and play anything from your console, from Netflix to Amazon Prime. And if you don't want the console, comfort of the Google, you can add a dongle at the back and you can keep using your regular TV. You don't have to upgrade entry level or upper entry level or close to mid-level TVs. So this is a higher position from the entry-level TVs. Like P755 is the latest 2024 model. That's why I purchased it instead of TCL P635, which was quite cheaper. Compared to this, I guess it was 20 to 30% cheaper, but the Android performance was slow. The brightness was little less than 300 candela instead of 350 like this, and the contrast was not good like this. And I guess the responsiveness, I think, quite important, and I didn't want to have any problem with the speed of the Android because we're going to use it probably a lot with the daily as a daily TV. So if those things are a matter for you, this is not the cheapest model. So until you go above these sort of models, you're not going to get huge amount of gaming capabilities. You got to go for 120 hertz models or higher sizes when it comes down to the P755 for DLG support, like over 55 inch, I guess. So you got to double check that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come here to the Android part, and from the source of LG, I'm going to do it in a second. I'm going from here to HDMI 2. But I gotta close this TV before doing anything, because since this is an LG remote and I'm doing it at the living room, LG opened the other TV too, the remote control. So let me just show you what is interesting. This is a 7-year-old TV, okay? And look what happens. I'm going to go to the settings, TV and display options, 4K UHD. We got 120 Hz at 4K. That's interesting. This is a 7-year-old TV. I'm not saying, yes, it dropped down the Full HD. Have you seen it? So it actually, it's doing what with the TCL should have been doing with the DLG. 7 years old. I want to repeat that. 7 years old TV with HDR capability 4K 60p and Full HD 120 Hz. So it's still kind of like a better on gaming from the TCL side of things, because I've seen, without any extreme conditions, of course, you can play games, but I've seen some shuddering on the FPS games. When I play fast-paced games, I've seen some shuddering, even though this device should have handled it. Without the 120 Hz and without the active VRR, 60p cannot handle everything pretty much. So you got to cancel the ads, like AI things, and take a look at what you can get out of it. I'm going to create a dedicated review video for the TCL P755. Don't get me wrong, but this is interesting. So we got 120 Hz right now, and I want to play just a fast-paced game. Just open it up. And meanwhile, I'm going to change the video settings for you to see. Like I told you, this is a 7-year-old TV, and I think it deserves a life, a little bit more life. So if I were you, I would keep my money a little bit more, and I would upgrade from my 5-year-old TV. If it still can perform, go to a bigger 55, 58, maybe 65-inch properly good TV. Wait a while, because when you hurry to upgrade your size without the technology, you're losing along the way, just like this one. I thought the TCL was going to be able to deliver 120 Hz with the DLG, but it doesn't at the 43-inch. Since we are using it as a daily TV, not a console connecting TV for gaming, no problem for us, a lot of contrast, better Android, quite a fast TV, and I can even use it as a monitor, so no problem there. So let's go arcade. Okay. Okay, I'm going to hit. From here, I think we need to make clear a gaming mode on. So this is the Echo, this is the Cinema, this is the Sport, and this is the gaming. I think Sport is the much punchier. It's killing a little bit of the dynamic range, but 120 Hz gameplay. Who doesn't love that? So I guess this video gave you enough about information. So I'm not a best game player when it comes down to this sort of fast-paced games. It's difficult. And I am kneeling it down, not quite casual. So I hope to see you in the next video. If you ask me, I wouldn't upgrade personally. I would wait a while. Or if I'm going to have to upgrade, well, probably I will upgrade something better than entry level, or top line of the entry level is not the way to go. You should go mid-range TVs if you purchased high-end TV or mid-level TV. Even with the low-cost entry-level TV, you will get a better image, but you are going to lose a little bit of spec. In this case, we are losing the gameplay, 120 Hz at Full HD. So if you're not a gamer, of course, this is way better in every way and thinner. And by the way, I haven't shown you the back side of things. In the end, I'd like to show you that build quality going around the TVs. So I'm going to convert from here. This is what we see. Basically, TCL have everything plastic. I haven't even removed the front cover yet, but we got quite a less and less bezels. So no bezels, we can tell. And since the LG has bezels and metal bezels, it feels more premium, but it's also getting bigger, bulkier. So the other one is slimmer. But when you see the build quality, this is metal and this is metal applied on a plastic on the foot, it really feels much more premium and expensive. Of course, right now you're seeing a reflection of the room a little bit, but the height difference is about that. LG is 42.5 inch, so a little bit smaller on the screen. Even with the smaller screen, with the bezel on, it's bigger than the TCLs. There's something to do with the legs, but most of them is about the frame. When we come to the back of the TVs, LG is humongous because old style, let's just face it, this is a 3 or 4 finger space, quite cumbersome. But the build quality is solid. So at the back, we don't have any airflow. So that's a good thing about the dust protection. At the back, we got 2 HDMIs. One is ARC and the other one is standard. But we are here another with 2 HDMIs, so that means we got 4 HDMIs. But with the TCL, we got only 3 HDMI ports. And we got analogs here. We got satellites and cable antenna over here. And we got optical and LAN and USB. But by the way, these USBs are USB 2.0. This is added later on, but this is quite solid system. I didn't even clean the dust. Take a look at this. I'm using it daily. So, one other problem of the LG is built in this. It doesn't have a 90. If you don't have a 90-degree angle cable, if you put it mounted on a wall, you will have problem. But TCL and new TVs are trying to solve this, adding the power cable like this, side angled, and this is a good touch. So you can really use a regular cable instead of a 90-degree expensive cable and extend without bothering the mounting system of the TV. And when we take a look at the back, we can even see the bump of the LG. This is old. And when we come here, you can clearly see from the top, the LG is quite large. When we take a look at this, you can see far away. At here, you can see the LG, right? It bumps away. But TCL starts quite small and then gets one step and then the hump. Sorry for that, but still TCL is not the thinnest TV out there. So I'm going to sit on a chair here. So TCL has a bump and also here it's correcting its way. So it's not a thin TV. When you go low on the budget, you got a thick TV, but the hump is going this direction. But let me just show you potential disadvantage against the LG. This air ventilation system is open and you don't have a filter. Do you see it? Yeah, right? So everywhere is a potential dust issue. So if you're into passive cooling, you gotta keep clean, you gotta keep everywhere clean for the TCL, but for the LG, the system is fully closed, but it's a big hump. And this is a thicker TV. You might be saying this is a thicker TV, but in the end, this hump goes a long way, and I think they are catching one to another. So, There's no total thickness difference in my opinion, so build quality of the LG is more solid than the TCL in every way. Other than that, what do we have? The ports are here. So we got like USB, LAN, and Ethernet port, HDMI 4K, HDMI 4K again. And we got satellite and antenna, optic, and HDMI ARC and eARC, and USB 3.0, and the audio. So we got a one USB 3.0. That's another plus from TCL, but it's new. So I'm going to return here and end the video. I hope this video gave you enough of information whether you should be changing your TV, or if you're thinking upgrading your 5 or 6-year-old TV, maybe you want to change the LEDs and continue to use with a Google TV 4K dongle or Realme 4K dongle. Whatever you want to use, console or anything, it could extend your TV's life cycle if you got a potential good 4K TV. These are economic crisis times, and I don't suggest to spend extreme money on new stuff that you don't actually need. Or if you're a casual user, you don't have to upgrade your TV. But panels has changed over the last 5 years quite dramatically. Even if you buy the cheap TV, it will be probably beating up your mid-range or upper, let's just say upper mid-range or entry-level, high-level TV. It could beat it up. So you got to check the specs. I'm going to create different tutorials for different purposes for improving the knowledge on this area to make sure that you got a better choice and easier choice, of course. I hope this video helped, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hope to see you in the next video. Home Cinema and Tech Review. Bye.